Sabah everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today I have a quick unboxing and initial impressions of the LG G7 ThinQ in Raspberry Rose. That is a long title, but I'm really excited to check out the LG G7. I've definitely been a big fan of LG devices since the V series and the G series from last year. This is TK. Let's go ahead and check out the Raspberry Rose LG G7. This is the T-Mobile variant of the device. It is an unlocked version of it, but it is a T-Mobile variant. The box is very simple. You'll notice right there, T-Mobile G7 ThinQ. We have LG Gate, Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 built in. And here we are. We have a nice little chamois to clean up our device. I'll put that on the side. I did purchase this directly off of Swappa, so if you guys are not familiar with Swappa, Swappa is a great website that you can pick up devices from, either used or new for resale, and I personally have sold some things on them. But this device actually came to me in really good shape and was sold as almost as new. We have, pretty much the sticker with the IMEI stuff. We have the second, so here's the second year promise. This is a warranty service, must register within 90 days of purchase. Of course, the device is right there on the left side. We have a little booklet, SIM removal tool, just normal T-Mobile stuff. We do have Quick Charge 3.0 compatibility here with this power brick US variant with USB Type-A open port. And of course, we have the USB Type-C, the USB Type-A connector to be able to do data charge and sync data over to our device. The G7 ThinQ is a 6.1-inch IPS Quad HD display supporting a super bright display as it shows here, an AI camera built into the camera application to be able to augment and take better pictures right out of the box. The Boombox speaker, which I'm really looking forward to checking out, and the Google Assistant key, which is really just a dedicated button here on the left side, similar to the Bixby button on Samsung devices, but this one is dedicated to the Google Home, or I guess the Assistant. The Snapdragon 845 is what's supporting us here. We have 64 gigs of internal storage, expandable with an SD card, with 4 gigs of internal RAM. Sliding the device out, we'll notice this is a 6.1-inch display. We do have a notch here. It's a little bit hard to see, but once we turn it on, we'll get a chance to see that. A single button on the right for power. On the left side, we have the Assistant key, volume up, volume down. On the top, we have the SIM tool, which is essentially the tray for the SD card, as well as the actual SIM card for the phone. One of the microphones and a couple of antenna bands. On the back, we have two dual 16 megapixel sensors at f1.6 with OIS and EIS, laser autofocus, dual tone LED flash, of course, and the fingerprint sensor that's sitting in the back. One quick fact about this is no longer the power button. As you notice, there is a power button on the right. So LG has went away from their own little trademark where now basically this is no longer a button, but it is a fingerprint sensor that you can unlock your device with. On the bottom, we still have a 3.5mm headphone jack, a couple of antenna bands, a bottom firing speaker with a USB-C capable of charging at USB Quick Charge 3.0, and of course, compatible with the prig that we got with this device. The front sensor on the top is an 8 megapixel front-facing sensor with an earpiece. Let's go ahead and turn on the device, get that little vibration, and here it is, LG G7 ThinQ powered by Android. I'm going to go through and set up my stuff into this, and then we'll jump over to just looking at the device. The display is definitely very, very nice. This again is a 6.1-inch display, Quad HD IPS panel, so no OLED, we went back to IPS. As far as the actual categories, we're looking at network settings, connection, connected devices, sound, display. In the display section, we have display size, app scaling if your display or your app does not scale correctly, comfort view, screen color, resolution by default, as I mentioned, is set to be at Quad HD out of the box. You can downgrade it to be at 1080p, but again, you're losing on some of that functionality. But if you want to conserve some power, that's definitely going to be there. Wallpapers and themes, that's built in here. You can customize those as well. Font, second screen option to be able to either hide or not hide the notch. You'll notice it's right there. I can actually hide it and make it into a second option. Of course, if I do hide it, I have the ability of basically customizing some of the options on it as well. I don't have a big problem with it. I've gotten used to the notch, but overall, if you're not, this is definitely an option for you. Screen timeout, screensaver, and then mini view if you want to be able to turn on the mini version of the display. Now, under extensions is where I turned on this floating bar. We have smart cleaning for basically cleaning RAM and excess files that are not being used. Gaming setup, context awareness, shortcut keys, as well as the ability of turning on knock on. Now, if you notice at the beginning when I unlock the device, I actually have additional shortcuts here that are sitting. So that's something that's really cool. Now, I actually can customize this. Very few devices can allow you to do that. I also set up my fingerprint sensor, which works very, very nice. Again, all of these things are normal and really cool. The battery on this is a 3000 milliamp battery, and I guess it looks like out of the box we have about 63%. Not a lot, but definitely something that we can keep in mind. Swiping up also brings us into it. Swiping from the left takes me to Google Home. I'll go ahead and close that. And on the right, I think they just have some of the T-Mobile applications. Again, you can disable some of them, or we can definitely download, let's say, a BK disabler and then just remove them entirely out of the UI. They are nicely organized into one folder here, and I was able to disable all but one, which essentially is the T-Mobile app. I do need to keep the hotspot because that's what I like to use with this device. Overall, very nice. The camera, as I mentioned to you guys at the beginning, we do have the AI camera. Let's go ahead and turn it on. And this gives us the ability of basically turning on different modes. You notice it's starting to say different names here. And what it's saying is these are all the different modes. So close-up, background, close-up, beach, close-up. And it tries to switch between the wide-angle lens and the normal lens. So that's one of the main benefits of a G7. It's always been where they have the two lenses and the two different basically focal length set up on the different lenses. Even though they're both 16 megapixels at f1.6 and the front one is at f1.9, I think, and that's an 8, you're definitely getting a better performance on it because you're able to actually fit more stuff into the actual system. Example would be, this is my remote here that I use for my monitor here. So if I take a picture right there, you notice where I'm just using it in normal aperture. If I go up, I'm actually not only able to fit the entire remote, but what's actually happening back there. And you notice it's right there. It recognized the person because my hand got in there. I'll go ahead and snap the picture and we can see the difference between the two. This, if you've watched any of my videos, you know that the Jumbo by Alex Scrindo has always been my favorite song. It's an NCS release, so I'm able to play this for you guys. But what I wanted to check out here is that stereo sound, that the way the sound just emanates when you have it sitting on a flat surface. So I'm going to turn it on. And so this is the sound with the device, normal. Bottom firing speaker. Wow.
Jack it up.
Wow, absolutely amazing. I switched over to the back-facing sensor. I'm recording a quick video for us just to show a quick audio and video sample. But the sound that came out of those speakers, like, what speaker? That's the weird part. Like, it sounds like speakers, but the moment you put your phone down, back down, when you're playing music, the sound just triples in quality and just becomes a lot more vibrant. So whatever they did with this device is definitely very, very, very nice. So if you're listening to music, you're not gonna even miss stereo speakers because this device will give you really good audio. Let's go ahead and switch over to the 8 megapixel front-facing sensor. So I went ahead and switched over to the front-facing camera. Now I'm recording both videos at 1080p. It is capable of going to 4K, and from what I heard, the 4K 60 frames per second is also going to be coming in as an update to the device. Although I'm not sure when T-Mobile will push that out. I heard that it's coming at least the unlocked version of the G7. Definitely very appreciative of the fact that this not only generates great audio, but that whole, I want to say boom sound, but it's not really boom sound. It's really good audio. Once you put your device down, it just vibrates the table to resonate in better audio, and it just sounds a lot better. I hope you guys were able to appreciate that using the microphone setup that I have here in the office. But if you've ever tried this at a store, check it out. Just put on some music and put that phone on the table. The last thing I want to share with you guys real quick is I got a couple of cases from Tudia, which I want to say thank you very much for sending me these cases to check out. These are both merge cases. One of them is in metallic slate as well as matte black. They're really good for your device. Now, I'm pretty sure at this point you guys have already asked yourself, why are you getting a Raspberry Rose device? Well, because for me, once I put it in a case, the reality of the matter is the device color really stops becoming a big factor for me. I can still see it here, and this is a really nice option. Of course, you have the ability of accessing the assistant here. Let's go ahead and unlock the device. Fingerprint sensor access is really good. Go ahead and press the assistant, turn it on, and of course you notice it turns on. I need to set it up. But overall, really good. Volume rocker, of course, we have it at the top. All of the options that we have here are still pretty good. The power button, and of course access to the little shortcut tab that I have here. And as you know, we do have wireless charging, and this works perfectly with that. So this one definitely looks a little bit different. It's I think it's a little slippery because the material here is very soft. This is again the matte black one. I'll give you guys of course links in the description below. Just want to double check, make sure we still have wireless charging, which makes sense. And yeah, there's some updates to go through here that I didn't have a chance. Fingerprint sensor unlocking is pretty good. Initial impressions of this device, a lot of nice little surprises. That sound quality that came out of it once I put it on the table was just out of this world. Cannot explain it, you have to try. I'm loving the fact that it has a 3.5mm headphone jack, it has wireless charging, water resistance, expandable SD storage, of course, and all of the other options that you normally expect out of a flagship that some main devices in 2018 are basically just taken out. That 3.5mm headphone jack is an actual feature in 2018. It's no longer a requirement. So very nice. I'm looking forward to checking out the cameras. Of course, that's my main thing about this device. That wide angle lens has always been my favorite, to be able to just fit more of the scene. Let me know in the comments below some of the things that you guys are mostly interested in. Of course, sound quality seems to be really good. The fingerprint sensor not being the power button, I'm actually okay with that. I've always had to relearn that feature every time I got an LG device, as I've always felt like all the other devices on the market don't do that, but LG did. It was unique to them, but now it kind of works nicely. Rose gold or raspberry rose, not an issue for me, as I showed you guys with the cases. I am going to be protecting it with a case, and Tudia did provide me a couple of cases to check out. So like and subscribe as usual. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you for the support for all these years. I'm going to start playing around with this guy.